If you put that NVIDIA stock inside the trust and then you sell it, instead of paying probably 30%, maybe even 35% in high tax states, all in long-term capital gains tax, you're going to pay 0 at that moment. And so on that $1 million of stock that you sell, instead of ending up with, let's say, $650,000 or $700,000 left to reinvest, you get to keep the full $1 million and reinvest it. And reinvest it mostly however you want. It's beyond the scope today to talk about the nuances there. Mostly you can reinvest however you want. It's growing tax-free as you buy and sell assets. And as a result, it's compounding and getting much, much bigger. That's the main value prop of a charitable remainder trust, is it's growing tax-free. So you get to reinvest the full proceeds of your sale, and they grow tax-free for a long time.
Yeah.
You go ahead, Money.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, this is the premise of standard IRAs, a lot of kind of retirement accounts. This is the whole premise of these structures, is you get to grow the money tax-free. Simplest way to think about it is if you're selling $1 million asset and you pay $300,000 in taxes, you could just send that money to the government, or you might pay that in the future. But if you reinvest that $300,000 now, it's going to create more wealth for you in year 1, in year 2, in year 3, and you can benefit from that. And so by deferring taxes, you're able to benefit from reinvesting what you would have otherwise lost to the government.
That's right. You do get to reinvest that money. And then really importantly, again, to distinguish this from other strategies in the tax world that are typically a little more illiquid, like an IRA or even a family dynasty trust or something like that. Here, you have liquidity. You're entitled to withdraw money from this trust. That amount is typically between 5 and 11% per year. Sometimes it can be higher, but rarely. You're entitled to that distribution, and so that's 5 to 11% of the value of the trust at the end of the year. The trust is worth $1 million. That's going to be $50,000 to $110,000. If you reinvest and do well, and the trust doubles to $2 million, well, then the annual distribution at the end of the year is going to be $100,000 to $220,000. That distribution is an entitlement that you have. Whether you actually take it is a big question. As we've said, a main goal with these trusts is to defer those payouts because the money grows tax-free. And so what we're going to talk about in a second, flip CRUTs are a way to be strategic about when you're taking that money out. So we'll talk about that. And then the last piece, as I've already previewed, is after you've taken all your distributions over the many years of the trust, which, by the way, could be a fixed term of up to 20 years. It could be your lifetime. It could be even longer than that. You can do a trust for your lifetime and your spouse's lifetime, and then a fixed term of years for your kids after that. These trusts can get as long as maybe 60 years or so. But whenever you choose to have it end, and you make that decision up front, but whenever it ends, whatever you haven't withdrawn by the rules of the trust is going to go to a charity that you choose. And that charity could be your family's donor advised fund, a foundation. It could be an existing nonprofit, the Red Cross, the Boys and Girls Club, really any registered charity. You're welcome to choose, and you can make that choice later. You can, change your mind over time. It's very flexible. But from beginning to end, that's the idea. You're protecting an asset from tax when you sell it. You're reinvesting the money. You're taking distributions that are taxable over the years, and then you leave something for charity at the end.
Yeah. Now, maybe, Jeff, that's kind of so high level how charitable remainder trust works. Now, there's a couple types of charitable remainder trust. There's obviously flip CRUTs, which we're going to focus on. Maybe let's talk about what are the other 2 types of CRUTs or charitable remainder.
Yeah. This is kind of a good segue into the flip idea. When you're deciding how you're going to take distributions over the years, there are 3 choices. There are 2 main ones: a standard and a NIM CRUT, which I'll talk about, and then a flip CRUT, which is a hybrid of the 2. So the baseline, the easiest one of these to understand, is a standard CRUT. A standard CRUT is going to pay you a fixed percentage of the trust's assets every year, no matter what. Let's say your payout percentage, which is decided by an IRS formula, by the way. Let's say your payout percentage is 5%. And let's say you have $1 million in the trust. At the end of the year, we take the valuation. By the way, this is part of Valur's work. We do this valuation work. We do the calculations and help you figure out how much to distribute and then do the tax returns.